All right, guys, what's up? Let's talk about how to improve your pull-ups. I had a client of mine, I know a lot of other people that struggle with pull-ups, particularly the very top range of the pull-up, the very end piece to get your chin over the bar. And we're gonna go over a couple different exercises, a couple different things that you can implement to then get that last final piece that we all seem to struggle with when we first start learning how to do pull-ups. So, what I'm talking about is once we set up, most people generally have a hard part on either two pieces, the very beginning stage or they get to about here and like, I can't seem to get my chin over the bar, okay? And something to realize is that when it comes to our muscles, we have a range of strength. Generally speaking, so if we're gonna use my arm as an example, generally speaking, at the very end range, we're pretty weak, and then at the very top range, we're pretty weak. Generally speaking, somewhere in the middle is our strongest position for that muscle group. So what we need to do to strengthen our pull-ups, if you're having a struggle at the very top end, is to strengthen that short range muscle group at the very top. So things that we can do to strengthen that is going to be things like either isometric holds, so that can look like practicing squeezing at the top and being able to hold this contraction over time. You'll see my body shaking. It's because I'm constantly working to keep myself above the bar. That can be one way that we can strengthen that end range movement. If that's too difficult, you can use something like some rings. You can even use a barbell. And you're gonna go over the exact same range of motion, just a little bit of an easier gradient. So from here, we're going to focus on squeezing and holding that contraction at the top. It's gonna help strengthen that piece of the movement. So we can do it with rings. If you guys don't have rings, you can set a barbell up and you can do the exact same thing with a barbell. If you want to continue to strengthen this without necessarily doing pull-ups, there's a couple different movements you can do as well that are gonna help train these exact same muscle groups to then get that last piece, that last contraction at the top. Some things you can do just based off what I see right here. Grab yourself a couple kettlebells or even a couple dumbbells if you had those, and you can do the exact same motion here. We can focus on a nice strong contraction at that top end range, that last pull that you have to do to accomplish a pull-up. So from here, we can go a bent over row, squeezing and holding that contraction at the top to help strengthen those lats. So we've got rings, holding contraction with a row. You can use kettlebells, you can use dumbbells to do this. Then I think the last thing that I would say for you to help improve your pull-ups would also be working the eccentric. So working the lowering phase of the pull-up, especially at the top. So what you can do is you can do partial reps at the top of the pull-up to help strengthen that position. So what that would look like is instead of going for a full range pull-up, we're gonna pull ourselves chin over the bar. We're going to lower to our sticking point, the position where we seem to always just drop out of the pull-up, and then we're going to then pull ourselves right back up. It's gonna be a very small, short range movement, but we are strengthening those short range muscles. So again, hitting a pull-up, I'm going to go just underneath, maybe forehead, pull myself back up. Forehead, back up. And what I'm doing is strengthening that final position in my pull-up that we all seem to struggle with so much when we first start our pull-ups. And the reason that we struggle with it is because we've never done them before. We've never strengthened those muscles to get that final last contraction at the top. And especially if you've never done pull-ups before, and if the pull-up bar is your only option, you can never train it because you've never built the muscles to be able to actually train that position. So if you cannot perform a full pull-up and you're looking at these things, you're going, Chris, how the fuck am I gonna do a pull-up if I can't even get myself above the bar? No problem, we've got some options for you. You can use the rings. You can do the exact same thing that I just shared with you on the pull-up bar, just on the rings. So here, pulling, squeezing, I'm gonna slightly lower, squeeze back up. Slightly lower, squeeze back up. If I wanna make this more difficult, I'll get more horizontal. I've gotta do a bigger pull, squeeze, come slightly back, squeeze back up, squeeze back up. Those are gonna help strengthen those positions. And then even if you're like, Chris, I only have a pull-up bar, I don't have rings, I can't practice that, what can I do? What you can do is stack a couple plates, potentially, or what I'm gonna do here is just grab a box. Now that I've got a box, and I can get way up here, you'll see I'm pretty much at forehead height. So for me, all I need to do then is squeeze those lats. I can even go just onto my tippy toes, back down, squeeze back up, back down. This is gonna allow me to get a ton of repetitions in this end range to finally be able to have the strength over time to hit a full pull-up where I can get my chin over the bar. So, in recap, we've got a couple different options for you. One, isometric holds, chin over the bar. Giving yourself, depends on your skill set. 3 sets of 6 with maybe 3 to 5 second isometric hold at the top. If you don't even have pull-ups, do 3 sets of 6 isometric holds, as long as you can hold them and build that strength up. After isometric holds, we have got ring rows, isometric hold as well, same thing, building that same muscle group on an easier plane to pull from. After isometric holds, you've got short range pull-ups. So pulling your chin over the bar, lowering to the forehead, pulling right back up, lowering to the forehead, pulling right back up, working that end range for your pull-ups. Same thing on the rings. And then lastly, what you can do, set yourself up a box, plates, bench, whatever it might be, to get you to a height that you're working on. I stood right about forehead height, and then just pulling from there, getting short range pull-ups motions in to help strengthen them. If you don't have a pull-up bar, all you have is dumbbells or kettlebells. You can do the exact same things. You can do isometric holds, you can use short range pulls. All of these small groups that you're trying to work on is going to help get you that last couple inches you need to finish those pull-ups, so then you can start accumulating more and more reps. We are trying to strengthen on that strength curve your peak contraction, that slight finishing pull for your pull-ups. That's what we were trying to strengthen here to be able to finally get your chin over the bar. Hope that makes sense. Try these out. Let me know if they work for you well. Let me know if you start banging out pull-ups. I'll be stoked to see it. And until next time, peace.